Okay, it's 7:01. Let's go ahead and get the meeting called to order. First item of business is Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call?
Ms. Knable? Ms. Dobson?
Here.
Mr. Earhart? Mr. Mitchell?
Here.
Mr. Aravalo?
Here.
Ms. Dominic? Mr. Sly?
Here.
Ms. Squire?
Here.
Mr. Morse?
Here.
Chairman, we have a quorum.
Very good. Thank you very much. All right. Approval of agenda. Is there any changes to the agenda?
No.
Entertain a motion to approve it.
Agenda is provided.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor? Aye. Any nays? All right. Motion carries. What is that? 7-0-0. All right. Citizen participation. Do we have anybody signed up to speak this evening? I didn't either, but. All right. Anybody that didn't sign up that would like to speak? All right, see none, we'll move on. First item is the formal commission action is approval of minutes from the August 6th, 2024 meeting.
Move we approve them as presented.
Second it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the August 6th meeting. Start the voting on the left.
Abstain.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0-2. All right, item number 2, site plan application SP 24-4 Cardinal Glass South Warehouse.
I wasn't doing this. Good evening. This is a site plan for Cardinal Glass, the South Warehouse Edition, located about 207th and Webster. Cardinal Glass is expanding, and so they need some additional space. The proposed building is south of the existing building with a breezeway connecting the two new dock spaces. The proposed warehouse will provide additional storage capacity. It's M1, current zoning. It's about 45 acres. And so the staff review, under section 17-340 of our zoning ordinance, we went through and identified all lot lines and right-of-ways. All proposed structures are applicable. All traffic and loading areas have been identified and type of surface and base course. Utilities are available. There will need to be a public water main relocation, which would be required to serve the lot. The city engineer is working with the applicant to address the extension. Exterior lighting on the proposed structure will comply with city regulations. Currently, it's just surface mounted lighting, and that will be reviewed at building permit stage. The consultants and utility providers and city staff have all reviewed the site plan, and comments have been addressed. We have the standards of review. If you'd like for me to go through those one by one, I can. It does conform to our comp plan. The utility easements are shown with dimensions meeting the minimum easement requirements for the city. The city will provide sanitary sewer and water to the site. Let's see. If approved, it will go to the governing body on the 26th of September. And there is a suggested motion there for site plan SP 24-4.
Any questions?
Amy, I know I had asked you for their stormwater report that I saw that was referenced in this, which had answered a lot of my questions, so thank you. The detention basins that are to the east of it, and that go underneath the railroad tracks, is that land owned by Cardinal? And is that where the rest of their stormwater runoff goes
I
to?
believe so.
I think it's private property.
Sorry to make you walk.
No problem. Hi, my name's Judd Clausen with Phelps Engineering, 1270 North Winchester, Olathe, Kansas. We serve as civil engineer for the project. The detention basin is right there on the east side of the building, between that north-south drive and the building. It's hard to see on this aerial right here, but on the grading plan, that's where our detention basin is for this new building. And then it ties into the downstream system that goes underneath that drive and then underneath the railroad and then past the railroad to the east and stuff. Those existing ponds that you see on this area on the very right-hand side are not our property, and our detention happens before them and we're not relying on them.
So it's over, it's in here.
Yeah, it's right in there. Amy, is there a grading plan that?
C203.
Do you have it?
Yeah, but I can't show it to.
Oh, I know.
Yes, I do have it. It's on page 14 of the staff report.
Right here.
Page 14 of 36.
Oh, yeah, I've already looked at this.
Is that it?
Yeah, go up a little bit more. Yeah, you can see on this page right here, the south end of it, and you go to the page up above, I believe. No, keep going. These are all just blow up detail sheets of the site grading. Here's the overall site grading, and there you can see it on the east side of the building. And it's all sloped down to about a midpoint along that east side of that basin, and it ties into the drain system that goes underneath that road.
So you're confident that that's sufficient to maintain present conditions?
Yes, in fact, it meets all requirements for APWA, which what the city's ordinances are for the 2, 10, 100-year storms to meet runoff requirements at or below existing conditions.
And then I assume this is a typo, but on page 16, it talks about obtaining permits from the city of Olathe.
That was a typo, and we corrected that.
I think I just got one sheet. Yeah, it was only corrected on sheet 2. We can get that corrected.
Yeah, that'll be corrected with the permit drawings.
So how much is the elevation going to increase for that building?
So that building is actually just slightly, I believe, below or above the existing building, just like by a half a foot or so. So it's pretty much right in line with the finished floor of the existing building.
I just saw the gradients on it, so it looked like it was,
Yeah.
they were going to have to raise it.
We go back to the grading plan. So that building sits at a 73.37. I believe the existing building's around a 72.8 or so. On the west side there, those contours, that's all kind of in a cut area. So it's sitting down below there. There's a high spot in the topography just to the west of this building. So to cut that road in and then a little ditch on the west side of that road and then a slope back up to catch grade as you go to the west. And then on the right-hand side of the east side of the building, that's sort of more in fill. And you can see the slope of the contours. They mainly run kind of north and south through the building. But obviously, all that's going to be flattened out with the construction of the pad.
Is the road that's shown next to the building, is that an existing road?
That'll, the one on the west side, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, that is a new road that will be constructed.
I guess the only question I have, given the amount of traffic, semi-traffic there, I didn't know whether there needed to be, an entry lane off of 207.
Really, the truck traffic stays in the same existing entrance. It's the one over there on the lower right-hand side of the page there, next to the railroad, the existing road. And that's really where the truck will continue to use. This project really doesn't add any employees. It's just very sporadic as far as trucks. There's only 2 truck docks there, so it's really not a very much of an increase. And Cardinal Glass is here tonight, and Barry can speak to that if you have further questions.
So it's a pretty large building for not creating any new jobs. Is it just storage then?
Yeah, it's pretty much 100% glass storage. I'll let Barry speak to that.
I'm Barry Mathai. I'm the engineering manager at Cardinal. The reason for this build is Cardinal Glass is #1 in the residential market. And the way we pack and ship our glass, instead of it going vertical, it's all horizontal. And there won't be any employees out here. This is strictly storage. I've got single bathroom for male and female, and then the 2 docks, and that's only if we need to use that, if it makes sense to pull out of there. But yeah, these A-frames that we pack on, they actually go to our customers or go to our other plants, and then they actually collapse back down, and then we can get those shipped back to us. But this is strictly for storage for us. We don't have enough storage space under the Cardinal model. Under AGC, where we were doing more building and industrial, big 12-foot by 20-foot sheets of glass, all on L-bucks, and we pack those onto the A-frame trucks that you see pulling out of there. You won't see any increased traffic because of this. Any questions? Okay.
No, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Any concerns? Any discussion?
It did reference a traffic study, but was there one done?
There was a traffic memo, I believe.
Entertain a motion?
I just have a comment real quick.
Okay, sure.
Just that, so I feel like being a 1-story building, you know, there won't really be any lighting impact, and I think it'll visually will be pretty low impact. The stated use of it also seems pretty low impact, and it's on land they already own. So yeah, it seems pretty easy to me and straightforward.
Yeah, I agree.
As long as we're not pulling permits from Olathe.
That's right.
Not within Spring Hill property.
I'd like to make a motion to approve site plan application SP 24-4, Cardinal Glass, am I saying this right?
Yep.
Second,
Cardinal Glass South Warehouse as presented by staff.
second.
It's been moved and seconded. Start the voting on the left.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Moving on.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Now you can go watch the Chiefs game. All right, revised site plan SP 24-5, monument signs for Hidden Valley, or Hidden Hills, excuse me.
Yes, this is for Hidden Hills. I did update I believe this is the staff report I had to update. Hopefully you all got the updated version. If not, it is on your computers. This is site plan SP 24-5, a revision to Hidden Hill subdivision located at 207th and Skyview. They have identified the type and placement of their monument signs. As you can see on this map, it's pretty tiny, but there is gonna be one off of 207th and Barker. And then over here off of 207th and Skyview, which will be their main entrance point. You guys approved the preliminary plat for the subdivision back in November of 2022. Let's see, okay, I already said all that. So, moving on. If approved, the proposed sign detailed below would be located at the entrance of 207th and Skyview Lane. As done with other developments, the city of Spring Hill would enter into an agreement with Hidden Hills Development LLC that the sign area must be maintained by the homeowners association. The sign structure and landscape would be located within the right-of-way off of Barker. I don't think it's off, I think I said that wrong. It wouldn't be off the Skyview, it's off the Barker entrance, the second entrance. The structures is a faux stone laminate option with a painted aluminum cabinet, treated wood siding, and aluminum roof cap. The face will have reverse channel letters, white halo illumination identifying the subdivision name, and a plaque and concrete footings. The structure is 10 foot by 2, and landscaping is also shown there, as well as the sign structure. It's staff's opinion, the structure will not create a vision obstruction for motorists, but will be more pleasurable, and visual enhancement for that area. Let's see. Let me move. There's the sign.
What's the two different sizes?
So the main entrance is that bigger one.
Oh, okay.
And then, the one that's off Barker is gonna be just a secondary entrance, and that will have the smaller sign.
Gotcha.
How does, the main entrance align with Woodland Ridge? Is it directly across the street?
It is,
Okay, that's what I thought.
yeah.
Can we ask more questions?
Yes.
How does this, so it says that it's in the right of way, and I drove by Foxwood Ranch, Woodland Crossing, Boulder Springs, Brookwood Farms, Wolf Creek Estates, and I took pictures of all those signs for comparison. In general, are the signs typically located in the right of way?
They are, so like Brookwood Farms is, I mean, in our subdivisions, they are, just because it's, if they're put back on the property, it's hard to see. And we typically will, go into an agreement, like I believe we have one with Brookwood Farms, so that their HOA does maintain all that, but, so Brookwood is, I believe we also did, Woodland Ridge, maybe their new sign might be encroaching a little bit. I think it was a Woodland Ridge. The others, I don't know if Boulder Springs is, I haven't checked that one.
No, I think that's way back.
Far back.
It's way back.
Yeah,
Back.
yeah,
And that one's elevated, it's very high, but it's also very far from the road.
yeah.
So it looks like the smaller one is in the right of way, but the other one is not.
No, they both are.
They both are?
Well, the one's on Skyview, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's in the.
In the median,
Okay.
in the, yeah,
It's not on 207th Street, it's on,
It's on
it's,
Skyview.
right,
But it goes all the way up to, like, the Main Street? 207.
it goes right up to the edge of the right of way for 207th Street.
So if you're sitting in like a lower car,
It's up,
I think
that's
the
in the
one-
right away line.
I think the one on Skyview will be more like what Prairie Ridge is.
Yeah.
It's gonna be in
With the
that-
median in the middle, and
median in the
it's
middle.
built in the median.
Pretty much like the one we did a couple of months ago on Woodland
Woodland
or
Ridge.
Crossing. Or
Yeah, oh, Woodland Crossing, yes.
Yes.
You're correct.
Oh.
Yep.
So Barker, I believe, is really the only one that's out there in that right of way.
It does seem like though that this sign is significantly taller than those signs were. And its overall dimensions are a lot bigger. I also have a little concern with their proposed lighting, because when I looked at all these other monument signs, they're all typically lit from landscape lighting that's down below, which tends to be pretty low impact and kind of soft. I think what they're proposing here are backlit letters, which is a lot brighter and a lot more in your face, I think. And I'm a little concerned for the Woodland Ridge residents across the street from this sign, because that will be their new view for those houses that back up towards 207th Street.
Both signs are,
Well, but it
Backlit.
doesn't face the street, it faces
It faces, yeah.
the
Yeah, 207, east and west.
east or west.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
so if your
like I
house
can
is,
get it. If I'm
yeah, right, that's,
across the street, it's not gonna hit me in the face.
If you're in your backyard and you back up to it, and you're looking up, I understand what Chuck's saying
because
is,
the houses go to on Woodland Ridge, they go west of there, so they'll all see it from their backyards, depending on their
Yeah, the ones
trees.
right next to it.
Does our photometric studies include signs?
I don't,
Or
I
would
don't,
we have a photometric of this one?
I don't think we do.
I mean, it's gonna be all the way across the road and
Yeah,
the far
it's-
side of the right of way.
I did.
It's gonna be a long ways away from those houses.
Usually have uplighting too.
Say what?
Sorry.
Usually these signs usually have some uplighting, so a lot of that light wouldn't necessarily come off of the sign itself and wouldn't impair somebody across the street. But we can look into that.
Besides that, I assume there'll be corner lighting on the street, on the entrance.
Street lighting,
Yeah,
there would be street lighting on the street, but again, those photometrics usually don't go that far out and impact anybody that's in
Yeah,
a
but
neighboring house.
filter out that brightness.
You know, I might be mistaken on how I read the report, because it says, I guess it's not clear. It says the face will have reverse channel letters, white halo illumination identifying the subdivision name, and an insignia plaque installed on the footings. So maybe that is ground lighting that's going up. When I heard white halo illumination, I was assuming they were backlighting the individual letters.
I don't think so, but we'll check on that.
Usually just like one or two bulbs.
Yeah, I don't think it's highlighting those letters.
I mean, I think that's the only main concern that I would have is the lighting, like Chuck was bringing up. So we could actually approve this under the assumption, with the caveat that it's the illuminations from the ground up, right?
Yeah.
And
I
if
mean, you
it's
can-
not,
Yeah,
then we don't have,
you can put whatever you'd like in your motion.
right, a stipulation.
I will say I'm also concerned about the size of it, because I went by 5 or 6 monuments. Now Boulder Springs, that one is huge, but it's well back from the road, and it's
are you
facing the
concerned
road.
about both of them or just one of them?
The one,
The big one.
the one on Skyview. But because the other one it looks like 8 feet, 4 inches.
Yeah.
Use the one
Correct.
in the median.
Right.
And it's 10 feet overall. I'm just saying that's taller than any other monument sign in our city that I'm
Even
aware
Prairie
of.
Ridges?
I didn't look at that one. I can check
Because that's
it
the
out.
other median one.
that's pretty tall.
I was gonna say, I think that's pretty tall, and I don't remember how big Woodland Crossings was.
It's not as high.
I don't remember that one.
Do you know how tall, Prairie Ridge?
I don't off the top of my head.
It just seems tall when I go, and I'm not one on, I mean, I can't tell you how far it is from here to that door, so, but it just seems like Prairie Ridges is rather tall.
And wide?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, I see what you're saying. So it's actually the pergola above it that's tall. The sign itself is pretty low.
right. But I mean, it just seems like it's a tall structure.
So Prairie Ridge. Yeah, so the sign is low, but there's a wood structure above it that adds height, but you can see through that.
Right.
Whereas this one, you'd have
You
10
wouldn't be able
feet
to see
that
through
you
it,
can't
right.
see through.
So it's still pretty far back off the roadway. It's not even in 207th Street right away. It's in Skyview
Skyview.
right away. So as far as like blocking somebody from seeing around it they're gonna have to pull all the way, they're gonna pull another 30 feet out past the sign
not
before
in-
they get to the stop sign where it's at now. And then assuming that we make it into a divided 4-lane, you're still gonna have,
It's not this like triangle.
yeah, it shouldn't be an issue as far as.
True.
And if you're on one side of the sign, you might not be able to see the car on the other side of the sign, I guess. But
Yeah, I wasn't actually even thinking of it obstructing motorists. I was just thinking of the visual impact.
Okay,
That's
I was thinking of the impact on it.
to traffic. I think Troy's absolutely right. And
But yeah.
everyone else, which is it's back far enough, which is like Prairie Ridge.
Yeah, it's back.
That one's back because you just drive by it and then you go up to the stop sign.
The only hindrance would be mom and dad don't see son or daughter coming home. They pass it.
walking on one side of the sign
Yeah.
instead of the other.
You weren't there when I got home.
That's what Life 360 is for.
That's right.
That's right.
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't either.
That's pretty.
Any other discussion, questions? Motion?
Move that we recommend approval of SP 24-5.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve SP 24-5. Start the voting on the right.
Could,
Oh, I'm sorry, did you have something else?
well, I was hoping to make a motion where we include the illumination must be from the ground up, just to make sure. Is that okay?
So do you want to amend the motion?
Instead of behind?
No, you don't want to amend the motion?
Okay.
Start the voting on the right.
No. Thank you. Aye.
I'll say nay in case there's a new motion.
Nay.
So
No.
the only reason so would you explain why you're saying nay?
Yeah, I would prefer there to be a stipulation related to the lighting.
Gotcha.
Same with me, nay.
Aye.
Aye.
Nay, stipulation with the lighting. Nay, ditto.
Okay, so it fails 3, 4, 0. So would you like to make a new motion?
I don't have that in front of me.
Would you want to leave it to staff to confer with Pat, to have Pat confer with the applicant to work with the lighting to make sure that there aren't any concerns with ambient lighting?
Yeah, and minimizing the light pollution and making sure that it's in line with other entrance monuments in the city.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we don't hinder this application, just in case they did have some backlighting, but it wasn't a lot that was gonna hinder any of the adjacent property owners. And maybe just put it on staff to review it based on the light pollution.
Yeah, thank you, because I don't want city council sending it back.
So I move that we approve SP 24-5 for Hidden Hills subdivision entrance sign with the stipulation that staff reviews the lighting details for this monument and make sure that it will not produce excessive light pollution and is in line with staff recommendations.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. Start the voting on the right.
I know, I see your finger.
Putting the pressure on you.
I'll say yes, but I don't want it going to council and them sending it back, remanding it back because of lighting.
So why would you be concerned about sending it back because of lighting? Because it's gonna have to have staff's approval
Right, I
before.
just, it's just my
Okay.
bubble comment.
Okay. Understood.
Yes.
Aye.
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 Yes. Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Including the stipulation for the,
Yeah, and Pat will talk to, the applicant prior to city council, so we have an answer.
okay, great. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Moving on, revised site plan SP 133-2023 freestanding sign for Cummins property.
Okay, this is for Cummins property, seventh plat, I believe is what it's, located on. It is a site plan revision, located at 20500 West 185th Terrace. This is what our code defines as a freestanding sign. It is on, Cummins property, store what, question mark, owner's property. It's about 7 acres. The property is 2 lots. They requested a revision to their site plan to, include this freestanding sign, located on Lot 1 of Cummins Property 7th. As per section 17730A5I of the Spring Hill sign regulations, a detached freestanding sign facing the highway is subject to planning commission approval with respect to size, location, appearance, and design. The site structure is a 10 by 30 monopole sign that is 10 foot high and will be illuminated. The sign would be located on private property and set back 30 foot from the property line and would not interfere with utility installations or future roadway expansions. If approved, the proposed sign detailed above would be located at the northwest corner of Lot 1 of Cummins Property 7th. The site plan was approved by the Planning Commission in 2023. However, it did not identify specifics for the pole sign. The applicant has determined type, size, and location of the sign with staff indicating Planning Commission approval. It's staff's opinion the structure would not create a vision obstruction for motorists. And we do have a representative here, if you have any questions for him that we are not able to answer. And I will take any questions.
So it is a billboard for like other advertising, or is
it's-
it a billboard for
It would be for them, for
their business?
Yep, which is why it's an on-premise freestanding sign, because it would, right? I mean, it's just, yeah. It's gonna be just for their property, Cummins property.
Cause it just says advertise here, so.
Advertising copy, yeah.
Yeah,
that would-
and they can probably explain. Do you know what you're putting on it yet? What would be on it?
It's advertising for a flooring store.
Okay,
That's what we're gonna have there, so.
For what?
a flooring store?
Yep.
Flooring store, that's within that property.
Can I ask why the suggested motion is none?
Because it is a billboard type freestanding sign, and we wanted you guys to tell us what you want.
so don't we have a billboard
There's 2.
regulation?
Yeah,
Historically, planning commission, through all of these comp plans that we've gone through before, has said that we do not want the highway to become what we have seen in other areas with billboards, and that we don't want any more billboards up and down there. We have what we have, and that's what we have, that's all we want, we don't want any more. And with the sale of properties, you never know what would happen to that billboard, whether it would be upkept or not upkept, da-da-da-da-da. Who would come in and do what with that billboard at a later time. So planning commission has always pretty well stood tight on that. We don't want any more billboards.
I thought there was something about every 1,100, it had to be 1,100 feet
Well-
between billboard signs.
that's for an off-premise billboard sign, so this is not considered that, but it does
That's
meet,
what I-
it does meet, it does meet, it's almost, I think, like 2,000.
Actually, it's
Or-
1,000 feet from the billboard to the south, and then there's a second billboard
To
another
the-
1,000 feet south.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's 2,000 feet, I think, across the highway or something, which it meets that as well.
So, I mean, it's.
Cause there was only room for one more billboard, if I remember right, within the city limits. The last time we had this discussion.
You're correct.
Okay, I didn't think I was imagining
You're
things.
correct.
So this would be the last billboard sign according to what our regulations require,
Correct.
space-wise,
Probably, yes.
Okay. It's not considered a billboard sign.
It is considered a billboard.
Okay,
Yeah. Well, I do like though that they're advertising their own business, but I see exactly what you guys are talking about. If they decide to advertise somebody else's business then on their own property,
Or what happens to the property when it's sold, and then what happens to the sign.
Now it's not
and-
whatever he mentioned.
right?
It's something else.
I,
We're approving this, not.
Or what happens
You're not
when they don't
approving
wanna
what's
rent
on
it, or they don't wanna advertise their own and they
Right.
decide to rent it,
Right.
and then what goes on that sign.
Right.
I didn't see what kind of, materials, like, are they gonna have it framed with an engineer, what kind of lighting? I didn't see as many specifics on this, as I was hoping to see. I saw like the sizes, obviously, is there anybody?
I'm Deb Groves
Hi.
with Adtrend. The intention is to have two halogen lights on each side of the face. So there'll be 4 halogen lights come up from the bottom of the sign.
So 2 on each side?
Two halogens, yeah.
And why are you the
They're not
applicant?
halogens.
as Atrin versus
Bob
a
Cummins
flooring
hired us to build the structure for him,
store? Okay,
to apply for the permits and represent him.
so he owns the flooring business?
Yes. Yeah, he owns all that property, Cummins property.
Including the flooring business that we
Correct.
advertised?
He owns the flooring business in Kansas City on Highway 71, and we're his neighbor. That's why he
Makes sense.
asked us to do it. And he also has he has an on-premise sign on that property in Kansas City, just in between the two Grandview exits. And we maintain that for him as well. And he's,
It would be good if you had schematics of what you're planning to do. Cause I really can't imagine.
the bird's eye view has,
I think they were all submitted.
bird's eye view, the very first one.
Well, yeah, it doesn't tell you where it's a direction.
So I did have a question about the bird's eye view. It shows that the angle where they come together is on the right side, but wouldn't it be on the left side considering where it's at?
Probably, he probably put it
mean,
on there backwards.
Cause it looks like it's,
No, this is viewing south.
doesn't say that.
No, it doesn't.
Why,
See, it would be,
You're right.
I think if it was on the property, if my understanding of it is if it's on
the point would be towards the road, because then you'd have the two angles so you could see it from,
Towards the road,
yeah,
yes.
okay, so it's
So the-
backwards
The
from.
backside, the open side would be towards his property.
Right, that's why I assumed it would be, but that's not what the diagram shows, so that's
Oh.
why I was asking. I just wanna make sure because that
Yeah.
seems like a very odd way of facing it.
That's correct.
Okay.
And then how does this sign compare in size to the existing 2 billboards that are on the east side of 169 in that same area?
I think we have 10 by 30s along that stretch, so they're
The same?
probably the same. And that's
And then
probably
height-wise,
why
those
he
are also
wanted.
4 stories to the top?
I think it can only be 30 feet to the top.
Let's see.
It
that
says
correct?
30 feet to the bottom,
Oh, 30.
and then a 10-foot sign, so that's 4 stories to the top.
No, it says 30 feet to the top.
Yeah, it says 30 feet.
On the bird's eye view, it shows the 30 feet to the top.
Yeah, I think the sign itself is what.
Yeah, you can. No, the one below, the one, the one that,
Yeah.
scroll down.
So scroll down, you can see it. It's 30 feet from
That
that
one.
pole all the way to the top of the sign.
So top of the sign would be 30 feet above the right-of-way grade from which it would be
Okay.
viewed.
Yeah, that's,
Sorry,
this
I'm
is what
thinking.
this is what I'm looking, yeah.
So now when you say from
Okay.
the height that it would be viewed, that's not from the bottom of the sign, that's from the bottom of the road.
No, it would be 30 feet from the ground up.
Okay, because,
And the sign.
From the base of the sign to the top of the sign.
okay, because that's actually a little bit lower over there. The ground's actually a little bit lower over there on that side of the road. Cause I drive by it every day, so I'm looking out over where it's being built. And so that ground is actually, the bottom, the base of the building
This
is
would be
lower
20
than the
feet
road
here for the pole.
base.
Base of the structure. The
The building.
building
It's gonna be
structure?
the
Okay.
base is gonna be the same height as the floor of the building, correct?
correct,
Okay, which is below the height of the road.
okay,
So that makes the sign more on eye level, even though it's 30
Probably.
feet up from where it's built. It's not as high as if it's not 30 feet above the road.
correct.
So I'm just picturing in my mind what we're talking about. So
And
that's,
I think the reason why he wanted that bead, is so that it's gonna be visible from,
sure, no, I'm not
North
questioning
and
that.
south
I was just trying to make sure I understand exactly what I'm voting on.
sure.
And I apologize for misunderstanding the height overall, but do you know, how does that compare to the existing billboards that are there? Do you think those are also 30 feet above grade?
I don't know what ours are. I couldn't tell you that.
Okay,
I wasn't here.
I'm just
I'm
curious
new
how
to
those.
this area, so.
And then it says the sign is 10 inches tall.
Yeah, I saw that.
Feet.
It says inches.
One
Do you guys
thing-
have an engineer you're working with for the structure itself to make sure that it's sound? I mean, I know like with our high winds and
Yeah,
such.
though, we usually contract with, for Metco, and they'll do all the engineering on it. I think they're out of Georgia.
Do you guys have anything showing like what the sign looks like? The ones that are already existing or the plans on what it's gonna look like after it's built versus just advertising?
I can get some photographs for you of what his sign looks like, on his property on 71. Cause I'm sure
Is that gonna be
it's gonna
identical?
be, it's probably gonna, well, the advertisement will be identical. The structure won't be
I'm
because it's
talking
a
about the
back-to-back.
advertisement.
Yeah, yeah. I can get that for you. Actually, I could probably find it on my phone.
Cause, well,
What's the address or what's the name of the business? I'll look it up real quick.
Factory direct. Factory surplus. Oh, factory surplus.
Factory serve. We just did a new sign for him.
I would say it may not be the same design.
I thought she just said it was.
and do we know what kind of materials are gonna be used? You know, who's gonna
It's a
be
vinyl
maintaining
materials,
it?
7-ounce vinyl material that'll be stretched around the face of it.
So I just wanna make sure, so the pole is 17 feet, is that right? Then you got 3 feet of this ad trend, and then 10 feet to make up that 30 feet.
The ad trend is just the logo, our logo. I doubt, Jim uses this for pretty much everything. I doubt that we'll have our logo on that billboard because it's not our property.
Is the sign at the Grandview location, is it directly in front of the business?
Yes.
On 71? And was that sign just put up recently?
Yeah, we just, this is the new copy.
Okay, thanks. Am I in the wrong location?
Oh, there, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's it, right there.
Okay.
That's their sign.
Steve,
Is this the same size pole and
this is
everything?
over there now. They also have,
Show her,
they're
is this the same size pole and everything that you guys are picturing?
Oh, yeah.
And that's the one, and here's the other.
Bigger than this, okay.
That was probably built 20 years ago.
And
The
it's
pole
exactly-
itself would be about 20
Add
feet,
triple
and then the sign would be another 10 feet, so it'd be 30 feet total.
Consistent with everything there. to
And
me.
where, you said you'd
I
have
was just
two
curious.
lights, are they be from
Thank
the
you.
bottom coming up?
Yeah.
So the one thing I'm trying to figure out is, are those 30 feet high?
Yeah, just from the ground,
Yeah,
Well, that's what I'm trying to understand, how high it's gonna be.
from the road.
Yeah, yeah.
Cause it's probably 4 feet,
Before
maybe
they add all
more,
the
5 feet.
lighting.
Well,
The road's that high up, right?
Commissioners, just for a frame of reference, if you've driven by the new building going up, the peak of it is 28 feet. So this
be
sign
2
will
feet
only
higher
be
than-
2 foot higher than the building that's next to it, so
Okay.
it won't be this like QT sign you can see from 3 miles away.
Thank you.
Oh, that's right.
So there you go. So it's 2 feet higher than the
Oh, that's
peak of the.
LED,
peak of the new
okay.
building.
But they'll either be square lights.
The rest of the com-
Probably, I'd say no
were
bigger
you
than.
saying?
The rest of us can't hear her.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry with the microphone there.
The lights, will either be, they'll be LED lights, but I'm not sure if they're gonna put the, a square, fixture on them, which will be about 1.5 to 2 feet each, on each side. Or they might be, a longer, more sleek light. Probably about 3 or 4 feet long and real thin, probably about a foot in width.
What will be the deciding factor as to which kind of lighting you go with?
Whatever Bob wants to do with it. I'm not sure
I know,
if it's,
just Google Maps.
I don't even think they probably talked about it gotten that far into it yet.
Okay.
But it will be, it's indicated on that application that there'll be 2 light fixtures on each side.
Okay.
If you guys look on Google Maps, the northernmost sign, billboard sign, is got the two lights on it, you can see it. And it says AdTrend right underneath it. So it's probably the sign would be what I would guess.
Yeah, I mean, what she's describing is very consistent with the other
This is
signs.
right here,
Right around the area there.
and there's the 2 lights, and that's the same,
Those are the square ones she's
and it
referring
says
to.
AdTrend on it, so it's probably that sign.
It'll be either those lights or the new, more modern light fixtures.
The only thing I have a question of is all the signs that I see do not touch at the end, and your diagram shows them touching. Will the signs the 2 signs on each side that are forming the triangle, will they touch? These are showing that they're apart like that. So, I'm just
Okay,
curious.
the majority of the signs that are on the east side of the road on 169, they're back-to-back structures.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a V-shaped structure, so, we'll need to find,
They're angled.
if you look at the,
They're angled, but
I've been looking straight on, they're angled, so I'm just looking at Google Maps.
okay,
Next to the RVs and boat storage, at the southeast
Yeah,
corner of
it
that.
looks like about 30 degrees or whatever,
Mhm.
and they're separated.
They're separated.
I think we can only be 20 degrees, is that what it says
20
in there?
degrees. Oh, no, we were just gonna get.
Oh, okay.
We could be off 10 degrees.
I do think honestly it'd be helpful to see, a little more specifics with like, some engineer designing to make sure that's not gonna be like a risk of being a hazard. Corrected measurements. Yeah, I think that it's hard to look at this and make a decision.
Now that one's strict,
Yeah.
the further one's,
Well,
Okay.
but the other one is angled.
and you can make a couple of stipulations to say that staff will review the lighting against the standards and staff will review the engineering design to make sure that it is structurally sound.
My opinion is to forego all that discussion because and just go to a higher level that Cindy brought up, which is, do we want another billboard along 69, a third billboard right along the same stretch where there are 2 existing billboards? And I'll remind the commission that this body denied Monarch Cement a sign that they wanted. They're also in the same industrial park, and they were wanting to do a sign close to the highway, and for good reasons, it was rejected, and that sign was smaller than this. And I think you guys also brought up some good points about if ownership changes. I mean, this is a billboard. It'll be used for a flooring store. The billboard will be as big as the store, maybe. But in the beginning, I mean, it's a 3-story, 30-foot wide, 10-foot tall billboard, and if ownership changes, it could advertise anything. And it's already not a particularly attractive corridor, and I don't think this will help.
I mean, you could change advertising on that at any time.
it doesn't have to stay for the flooring, right?
You're right,
They could put it to whatever.
for sure.
Yeah, anything, and it's on private
You know,
property to where we
It'd
can't.
be
do
Bonita
anything.
Flats in
Yeah.
2 weeks. I don't, not saying it would, but.
I don't remember why we turned down the Monarch sign. Well, I thought it was bigger than,
Monarch sign wasn't on premise, it was gonna be on land that they would have to rent.
Yeah.
And it was,
What was that?
this is on their property.
It wasn't.
It
gonna
was
be
8
on
by
premise.
16.
It was gonna be on property.
It was bigger.
it
Okay.
was it was four by 8 sheets of plywood.
That sounds right.
It was 8 by 16.
And it
Versus
wasn't
10 by
on
30.
the, wasn't on the property either.
Yeah, good point.
They were
So
renting
this is
out
on their property.
fence space or whatever.
Yeah. But if I wanted to put a billboard on my property, I hope you guys would turn it down. Just because I own it doesn't mean I should do it.
We've
Well, but I don't think are you
You aren't.
comparing to apples?
Yeah,
Not
but the
fair.
commission
You know,
has stood steadfast on no more billboards up and down there. That's not the look we want for our community up and down the main thoroughfare in and out of Spring Hill. It's the look that we don't want. We have said that for a long, long, long time. That's our opinion.
You know, I wasn't here when you guys had voted on, the prior sign. I would say, I do think that's something in their favor is that it's on their property, that they do own, they wouldn't be renting space. With that said, I am nervous if they, in the future, decide they want to rent that space out, that is now something that is there, most likely permanently. That we don't have much control over if it needs to be maintained, or the lights are burnt out, or there's repairs needed. So, I guess I would like to see a little bit more as far as a plan, before I can make an educated decision.
Well, no, I think the
Voting yes.
doesn't the city monitor those and make sure they're maintained? Yeah, the city monitors that.
We monitor all the billboard signs all along 169.
But you would have no say as to what's being advertised on them in the
No.
future?
No.
No.
So this is,
And you would have no say if they decided to rent it out and what they
Right.
put on it.
so Cindy, this appears to me by looking at this, the exact same sign as the last billboard we approved. Which we did approve
Along
5 years ago.
69, right?
about 5 years ago.
Which one is that?
The one that's,
To the north or the south?
the furthest one north in Spring Hill.
Okay.
And it does have 4 lights on it, and it is angled.
I think it's longer ago than that, though.
Well, it's, that green building was there before, it was built after the green building was there. The green and white building where they used to have all the concrete piled up, and then they flattened it all out.
Yeah?
That was a sign that we approved.
Yeah.
And we,
It was longer ago than that.
well, the only reason I remember that that's what, the one we approved is because that's how I knew that about the 1,100 feet between signs.
I just think it's funny how we all remember
Well, I,
things by
Differently.
events.
I know, but I mean, that's why I'm remembering this sign.
I'm just saying, that's the only reason I'm laughing is because we all
I
remember
know.
an event.
It's
attached to
okay,
something.
it's all right,
It's probably 5 to 10 years, but yeah, I mean, I remember that, cause
I mean, it's the same billboard. I mean, it looks to me like it's the same billboard,
the same design, yeah.
same design billboard,
Same,
with the same
dimensions,
lights.
Same, angle even, 20 degrees.
It's not what I want up and down there.
Well, look on the bright side. If you approve this one, you don't have to have the discussion again.
And that was why we had the discussion, is like, well, how many more can go up there? And there was only room for one more at the north end of town. In the industrial complex.
Will there be a sign at, where that truck plaza was zoned for?
Of course there is.
So,
There will.
And
how
it won't be a
close is that?
billboard, but that's again,
Yeah,
another
their
one that's
own
gonna be up and
billboard.
down there.
I think the reason why he went with the off-premise sign was so that he could have a bigger sign. Rather,
And he wanted
because
to
if
go
it,
higher.
if there was if it was an on-premise sign, then he's restricted to, I think, 10 by 16 maybe, something like that,
Yeah.
if I read that right.
Noted as Amy?
I don't.
I think she's
I think
right.
she's right.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Cause there is an RV and boat storage sign.
100 square feet.
Because I think you said it was.
or hundred and fifty square feet,
That's how I remember it.
Not that highway jumped up.
Any more than this?
well, I will say, coming from small towns in Iowa, when their communities were bypassed, that's all they had was to draw, people in were billboards, so. They
That was probably before Google Maps. There's a lot more ways to draw people in today, is all
Well-
I'm saying, versus a billboard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys get really quiet.
Discussion,
Yeah, I'm waiting for discussion.
motion?
Discussion,
I
motion.
mean, I'm not a fan of billboards either, but even if you did even consider it, this is a mess. You don't, they've got all the wrong, yet that's 10 inches over there, the angles are incorrect. You do have no clue what lighting's gonna be on there, it's either this or this. So, cause lighting is a big thing lately. So
Yeah.
you're gonna approve this, and then, well, we decided to go with this versus what we probably will do.
Yeah, I see what Mary's saying. It's not, she went over it well on what they're
Yeah.
gonna do, the two lights and the
But there's
LED.
nothing in writing
Right, there's nothing.
holding you guys to, this is what's going on, this is what you're voting on and approving. You know, we're going
Or
off
denying.
incorrect, or denying, I'm sorry, going
Well,
off incorrect
this has to go on
measurements
city
and,
council, correct? Or
This
is
will not.
This is last stop.
I would
Nor
say
is there
I'm
any
not-
obligation, Mary, for this not to be flipped into a for sale billboard.
no, I agree, I'm just saying, on the flip side of us not wanting the billboards, cause I don't like them. But if it was to be entertained, I wouldn't approve anything
I don't
this
disagree
because-
with you. I think I'm not completely against it. Because of the zoning that's there and what all is over there. I'm not completely against it, but I don't think that we have all the information that we need, like you said,
Right.
to be able to make a proper decision, personally.
Right.
I think it'd look kind of funny with the 10 inch.
30 feet high.
Says it, that's what it
So it
says.
says ten, he said, I think it's
10
funny
inch.
to see a 10-inch sign.
I heard it.
Oh, I thought you heard something else.
No.
And then not having the photo of what the sign's gonna look like. I don't know. I guess we're just spoiled with details because there's no detail. Or correct detail.
Well, we do like our information.
Exactly.
I mean, I would say it's gonna look 95% like the two existing billboards.
Right,
there.
right.
But you don't know. They could change the entire sign.
I would
Not
feel
saying
much
that they
more
would.
comfortable if we tabled it for clearer information, more specificity on what they actually are going to do. I mean, we just discussed the monument. You're concerned about the lighting, but here
Right.
you have no detail other than a box on a pipe.
Yeah, there's nothing in writing about what.
I think there's many of us against it, but there's many of us that agree that if it was to be a positive vote, that none of us are comfortable with the information that's before us.
So would somebody like to make a motion?
I will move that we table SP 0
You don't have to say the preceding zeros.
000-133-2023 for the October meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to table the revised site plan for the freestanding sign for Cummins property.
I have a question. Do we need to add on to there?
Yeah, I would add on what you want them to show you, maybe, specify.
Everything.
For the applicant to bring back a detailed plan with correct measurements and lighting specifications.
you want them to propose an agreement that it will be used to advertise their business in perpetuity and not used as a for hire or for sale billboard?
I don't think,
I don't think we can do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that isn't a stipulation we can place.
That'd be great.
Okay.
It's, yeah, I don't think we can do that.
Cause it's the owner's land, put it on.
Yeah.
So
Have like
is that,
what it looks, it's supposed to look like.
so is that how you're amending it with the, not with the perpetuity part, but with the,
Yeah,
Yeah,
just,
but with the specifics of what you're,
if I think that's good enough, if you bring back the specific measurements, the specific material, and the specifications on lighting,
And a mock-up of what it
yeah,
would look
all mock-ups, all details.
Yeah, example of what it looked.
okay, I just wanna make sure I understood what your motion was, so are you still seconding it? Okay, so it's been moved and seconded. Did you understand what they're looking for?
I did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Start the voting on the left.
Aye.
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 I'm gonna say nay only because I don't think we should waste their time. I think we should deny it tonight.
Okay.
I'm not against denying it tonight, but
I want
Aye.
to be fair about
Okay,
the
so
denial.
motion carries 6-0-1 to table it. Sorry, 6-1-0, excuse me.
Yeah.
Since you guys have voted, I'd like to say just one thing quick to you commissioners. I'll be real cautious in your discussions. The board's job is not to, well, I don't like this, I don't like that. There's a set of rules and standards that when somebody comes before you that meets your rules and standards, you've got to say yes. You can't say no. You need to change the rules and standards if you don't like what comes before you. Also, I
I'll
do
just
remember.
remind you that we did not turn it down. We tabled
understand.
it. Okay,
I'm just saying, caution you for the future. That's why I didn't say anything before you guys voted.
okay.
The second thing is, I do remember from my time on planning and zoning back where I'm from, what's on that is irrelevant. You just gotta consider that a white box. As long as it's not offensive, making pictures or something. What their sign's gonna look like is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. That's been litigated. You don't wanna open yourselves to lawsuits. You gotta be cautious about what you guys do, cause you start getting to a point where you could get litigated and cost the city money. Also, you did make a mention of, well, we don't, that 10 inches, we need all that changed. We shouldn't just allow stuff. You just let a big plan go 2 item agendas ago, and it said Olathe on it instead of Spring Hill, but you let that go. It's okay.
Actually, sir,
If-
if I could.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna do one thing for somebody, you
Did
gotta do it for
reprint it with
everybody.
Spring Hill because it was caught prior to this meeting and the engineer did look at it and did replace it with the word Spring Hill on it.
Not on the second page. He even said he'll fix it before it gets in front of you. But anyway, those are little things that you guys have let go in the past, and it's cool, fine. Just saying, be cautious. Be cautious because you don't want to get sued.
Thank you for your comments. All right, moving on to discussion. Thank you.
Very tall. So Pat wanted me to discuss, getting some work sessions, for the comp plan. Yeah, back on that. So, if you guys wanted to come up with some dates, what?
I didn't bring that book.
Oh. And you can always just email, I mean, if
Okay,
you,
give us
I
some
can,
dates.
you-
Give us some dates.
I know, Kat.
September's rough, man.
I know, and if it has to fall into October, that's, fine, we want,
Well, I don't know, let me pick a date here.
So our first meeting in October, our first Thursday in October is October 3rd. Mm-hmm. That will be the next planning commission meeting.
is there any you
think
can
that-
do
I
in
think that-
September?
I think the 23rd, 24th, 25th would be great.
Right
Of
before Fall Festival.
September?
That's right, it's Fall Fest.
Don't those work, Kat, the 23rd, 24th, 25th?
I could do the 23rd.
Kat, repine, I'm giving you grief.
I don't know that I can commit to the 25th or the 24th, but I could do the 23rd.
Kat, I'm giving you grief. That's why I said, let me pull this up, cause I couldn't even tell you those dates. Oh,
It's a Monday.
honey, I'm just giving you trouble.
No, I know, but I am looking at it and just knowing, my schedule that Monday, I could make that work.
No, I'm just
That's the only
giving you
day of that
trouble,
week that I
sweetheart.
could swing.
So,
If we could try to at least maybe get one in September so that we have,
so the night that would not, the Thursday night that would not be the plan, or the city council meeting would be the 19th,
right,
which would be 2 weeks from tonight. You're asking for specific dates.
yeah.
Thursday, the 19th, that would be the night, back in this room would not be the night that the city council's
I
meeting.
can't make it tonight,
You
Okay.
can't do the 19th, okay.
but you can have.
Well, it doesn't have to be a Thursday, does?
No, it is not.
Does
I was,
16, 17 work for,
I can't do any
No.
Tuesday or Wednesday nights. Sorry. Other obligations.
And what time do you,
23rd.
I mean, what time?
what,
I would say as early as you guys can get here.
Start at 6.
Yeah,
a lot of
That
the
would
others are
work.
at 6 o'clock.
yeah. I would definitely say if we can do earlier than 7.
Yeah, sorry.
that's fine. I'm not passing judgment, I'm just clarifying.
She would like to do one in September.
If possible, if not, I mean,
On the 23rd.
it won't work, it's fine.
What about the 10th? I mean, I know it's only like Tuesday, but
I can make the 23rd work. Monday, the 23rd. Tuesday and Wednesdays are out for Steve.
that's a Tuesday. I didn't hear Steve say Tuesday, Wednesday, no.
Is it every Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm assuming? It's okay if it is, I'm just asking. Okay,
It is, I won't be.
so that leaves Mondays and Thursdays, but you said the 19th was out for you.
23rd works.
You could do it the 9th.
Kat, speak up. Mary, speak up.
I can do
9,
the
16,
23rd.
I'm just waiting for you guys to,
I prefer the 23rd.
the 9th I'll be in
I'm
Nebraska.
not here.
Oh, wait a minute, isn't that the fall festival? When is the fall?
which day?
No, that's
That would make-
the 27th.
27th.
The
8th.
second.
Kat, isn't the 23rd getting too close to festival for you?
I'm available that Monday night.
Are you sure? Steve?
Does anybody have a problem with the 23rd, Monday the 23rd?
Okay,
Mary, you've been quiet.
No, I'm good.
Okay,
You guys are thinking 6?
I was just letting you guys go back and forth, cause
so.
can you do
so let's-
6, do you think?
I would say
6
6
is
is,
fine.
6 works for me.
Okay.
Anybody have a problem with 6 on Monday the 23rd?
Not as of now.
Should work.
Okay,
Okay,
Something weird happened.
so Monday the 23rd at 6 PM,
okay.
be a work session. Is that right?
What? Yeah, work session,
Okay.
6 PM.
Is this for comprehensive plan?
Yes.
Yes. Yep. And then if we want to, and then if you guys wanna look at calendar or see where we're at on the 23rd to pick a couple more dates in October, we can wait. If you want.
Wait, we're down.
It doesn't matter. If you guys have your schedules, that works.
So like I said, October 3rd is the next planning commission meeting. Excuse me.
Yeah, and if you wanted to do before, we can do that.
So do you wanna try to do the 30th then also? But that's after Fall Festival. There might be some tired people at that point.
I don't think I'll make it on Thursday.
Okay, no, it's a Monday, the 30th.
I don't think I'll make it.
Okay, all right.
she'll be dead for like a week.
I
Still be
understand.
Meeting with rental people and getting things returned. No.
Come on.
Maybe we should make it that in October. After the
Do
planning.
you wanna do another one? Do you wanna do, Amy asked, do you wanna do it at 6 o'clock before the meeting at 7 on the 3rd?
How much will we get done in an hour?
I don't know.
Cause usually it takes us 15 minutes just to figure out what we're doing.
Well.
No, I'm just saying that, I'm not trying,
I'm not denying that.
I'm a very practical person. If we're gonna be here for an hour, we're only gonna get,
I
you
know,
know,
45 minutes of,
well, that's assuming you don't take 15 minutes at the end to talk to everybody and to get,
yeah.
so you get 30 minutes of work time and
Well,
it's really not worth it
Depending
to,
on what we get done on the 23rd, you may say,
True.
well, let's throw in the 6 o'clock on the 3rd.
right?
So we could hold that.
Do you want to hold the
we could
3rd?
Hold that one and see what happens on the 23rd. But what else in October? Pat wants to get this done, I know.
7th.
I can't do the
Monday
7th.
the 7th?
You tell me, guys.
I can't do that, but I don't need to be here.
I'm just gonna say I can't do any Mondays,
Yeah, we're
so
just
it'll
like
all
on
be
Monday.
Pat. But that doesn't matter, Pat can do it.
What days do?
I can't do the
City
7th.
council meeting in October?
On what night?
October
The
7th.
tenth.
Oh,
Yeah,
on
The first
October
Monday,
7th?
I have a meeting.
Okay. October, well, and we can, there's potentially gonna be a meeting in here on the 7th.
Yeah, but we,
Then skip.
Yeah,
Another 24th.
it doesn't matter.
What about like the tenth, October
Is
tenth?
that city council night?
City council.
Oh, October 17th.
17th.
but it doesn't, well, it does for Pat, I was gonna say, cause we can always go to the other room, but it would for Pat.
Yeah, he would have to be here for those, I'm sure.
What's your
And-
availability on the 17th
17th.
of October? Is Thursday?
Good for me.
I think Pat would like to get a couple in October is what,
In October or September?
October.
Okay.
So we're gonna go to the 23rd. Everything that I've talked to Pat has been, we need to get this rolling. We need to get
Does
this
October
rolling.
17th work for you?
What?
October 17th?
At this point, I don't, we're just gonna have to pick them and go for me, as far as I'm going. I've got a couple things on the burner that I don't have dates down for, so
Okay.
let's just pick them and go.
Anybody else have an issue with the October 17th?
At 7?
At 6.
6, okay, I don't know.
What about the 7th? Are we holding that?
Well, I was.
We
I was
won't be
trying
able to
only
do
one
that
at a
if,
time.
if Pat has, if there's a meeting, Pat will have to probably be at this meeting.
Oh, I thought that it was just somebody else in here like cemetery.
No, it would be,
It's
you're
gonna
talking
be a
about the
public-
council,
It's gonna be a
public hearing?
No, it's just gonna be an
Oh.
open house.
Oh, okay.
On the
I don't know
17th.
what's going on, but
On the 7th.
in here.
On the 7th.
Would Pat need to be here for that? Okay,
Okay, so the 7th might work.
yes.
Well, but,
I already know the 7th will not work for me.
It will not work.
And I'm not saying you have to wait for me to do it. 'cause-
yeah, and I'll be out of town too.
So
So
that,
that's two. Okay, so scratch that.
Yeah,
so I would, I was going to October 17th first.
okay.
Does anybody have an issue with October 17th? That's the off meeting of the city council meetings.
One more.
Okay, so let's schedule that one. And
Are we doing the 3rd early?
Do you wanna
I'm
just see
going
how?
back to that.
Okay,
So then October 3rd, that hour before the planning commission meeting,
We'll cut back to that one at the 23rd.
But do we wanna pencil?
we're talking about the 3rd of
Pencil
October,
it in.
before this, before the
Right,
planning
We'll come
commission.
back to that one after we meet on the 23rd.
Well,
So you
let's,
still need
let's,
one more in October. That would be a good, long meeting to work on.
well, I was trying to come back to October 3rd and tentatively schedule it, and then if it's not, if the 23rd does not produce enough, or we find that we don't need the 3rd for an hour, then we can cancel that. But if we get it on the schedule, we're not gonna get on the schedule if we don't put it on the schedule now.
Okay.
Yeah,
go
that's
for
what
it.
I was going with, just put it on there and then go from
Yeah.
there.
So October 3rd from 6 to 7 PM.
okay,
As I already said, I don't know how productive that will be, but let's schedule
Yeah.
that and see what we can do with that.
okay.
And then you said you'd like to try to, another full meeting, and I'm good with that. And so when are we looking to do that?
We're out of date in October, guys. It works.
Didn't we say 17th or no?
No.
No.
No, yeah.
Yeah, the
17th.
17th. Yeah,
Throw another one out though.
So we're
So
at
we're-
3
we're looking-
already.
How about the?
Well, we've got 2 full meetings in
Okay.
at 1 hour-long meeting.
Okay, I hear ya.
So if we could try, you wanna try to get one more full meeting scheduled? Is that what we're, is that what,
yes, probably.
I mean, we do
And if
have-
we don't need it, we don't need it,
It
so,
can always come off. the
Yeah.
books.
Okay.
yeah.
Pat and Amy don't have enough to do.
Anybody have something going on the 31st?
Yes.
I can't do that.
Giggle, giggle, hee hee.
Hey, throw it out there. So you wanna try to do the 21st then? Throwing dates out there.
Don't hear anybody hollering.
Anybody have a problem with October 21st?
That's good for me.
I think I can do that. I'll be late, I don't get off work till 6. On Mondays.
I think I can.
You what, Mary?
I don't get off work till 6,
Okay, on Mondays?
yeah. But I mean, I can still.
How
come
long?
after.
Okay, do you wanna try to push it to 6:15, would that?
She'll just come in.
Well, I think it's
Takes us
okay.
15 minutes to settle down.
Well, you're right, all right,
It's a work session, it's not.
okay,
It's okay.
all right. So the 21st at
Chuck, you've been
6
awful quiet.
PM?
I'm just like Mary, just letting you throw out dates and then I'll respond. These all look
Okay.
good.
My kids are
Okay.
grown, I don't.
21st, okay with
got
you?
nothing.
Okay, so as far as you, as far as you can plan out, that's it's not a problem. Okay, so October 21st then at 6
Okay.
PM also?
Yep, so we have the 3 confirmed, and then a third, October 3rd we'll hold to see how the 23rd is.
September 23rd.
If it-
That'll be after the September 23rd meeting.
Correct, okay,
So we'll decide on the 23rd if we need the 3rd.
correct,
Got it.
okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay,
I don't think I have any other discussion.
So the 23rd of September and the 21st of October are the two main ones,
And
right?
And the 17th.
Missed that one. Thank you.
And hold the
Did you say
third,
the 7th?
hold the
October
17th.
17th.
Oh, we are doing the 17th, okay.
Yes.
I wasn't sure, I thought that was canceled.
I have a
No.
second on the miss.
Okay, sorry, okay, so let me recap what I have on my calendar here.
got too many.
I've got the 23rd of September from 6 to whatever, I.
Yeah, they're gonna be separated, like block
And what
walls.
did you do to
This is,
that?
we're being gaslit.
Oh,
And then October 3rd from 6 to 7 PM before the planning
that's,
commission.
yeah,
meeting.
we're holding that one, yep,
Ish, I put ish.
I forgot about
October 17th
yep,
from 6 PM,
Oh, God.
and then October 21st at 6 PM.
yes. That's correct.
Steph, no, you were just as guilty as the last one, never mind.
I almost wore the chief shirt too tonight, so I'm glad I didn't.
Okay,
Oh, you guys would have been twinsies too?
so that was discussion items, I believe.
That was
right?
discussion.
Okay, so now
and
we're on, moving on to reports.
Yep, so, August 8th, city council meeting, there were no, planning commission agenda items. And on the 22nd, the, council approved the rezoning for the, wait, what is that?
No,
That's wrong.
that was tabled.
That was tabled. I
R4.
messed that up. They denied the fence, the appeal for the fence, the model home fence. And I believe that came down today. Did it for sure? Okay.
When was the R4 zoning tabled to, what date is it?
It'll come, it's going, I think, on the 26th, or this month. Yeah,
26th?
September 26th.
Okay.
Sorry, I did not update my notes here. So, and that's all that was on the agenda.
Actually, wasn't it withdrawn by the applicant in that meeting?
No.
Okay,
Well, he withdrew it just from that meeting.
right.
Right, yes, it wasn't tabled, I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So they withdrew it until September
Yeah,
26th.
'cause I remember some of the residents were upset that they were just learning about it, but it wasn't anything that the staff,
The staff did not do it, no. We had gotten a late phone call
right,
by them.
About what?
withdrawing or removing it from the agenda that night, the R4.
Okay,
That's all I
any other
have.
reports?
I just wanted, I don't know how many,
Are we moving on to announcements from planning commissioner?
yeah, that's what it said.
I didn't say we'd moved on yet, so I wanted to make sure we had the reports done first.
I am finished with reports.
Okay, thank you, okay. Now, please move on. We're now on announcements from planning commissioners and staff.
Just boycotting.
Ready?
Cindy, go first.
I don't know how many of you guys knew Annabeth Serbaugh, that represented the area really well and was chairman of the Johnson County Commissioners for a long time, but she passed away at the age of 79 a few days back. So
Sorry to
she'll
hear
be sadly missed in the political
Is that
world.
the one that you posted about?
Mr. Hackner passed away too.
Yes, Mr.
That's the
Hackman
one I-
passed away in Spring Hill, yep. Well, from Paola, but he
Yeah.
was a long time teacher.
Like 45 years or 46 years, something like that, middle school
I think it
science
was
teacher.
45, I think it was 40,
Wow.
yeah.
I would have to see him.
He only had like 4 of my kids,
Teachers.
Yeah,
Wow.
he had all three of mine.
yeah,
Eighth grade science teacher. Okay.
so.
Hey, Amy, I got a question about the property next to mine, Garrett Farms,
They're at Ranch,
Garrett, whatever.
yeah,
I call it a farm because.
cause that's what it looks.
It's dirt.
So, I didn't tell you this, Amy, or Pat, I didn't wanna stress you out, but they messed up my sprinkler system by plowing shit through there when they broke through the road there on
Plowing
Newcastle.
things through there.
I
Okay.
didn't bring it up to you because I knew it'd take too long to get fixed, so I had the landscaping guys, Chad fixed it for me.
Okay,
He happened to be there that day, so they said, oh, we can fix it.
That's
Yeah, it was
gonna be-
water
that's gonna
running
be
down the road.
expensive.
There
okay.
was water running down the road and everything, cause.
Well, let us know.
But the
Next-
flags are right there and they're still coming.
They're still right
next.
there.
And I don't know what they're doing with those flags there. Can you tell me what they're doing there? They planning to pave something?
I don't honestly know. That part's kind of out of our department now. Pat might know. I don't know if he's talked to
Well, and I
Mr.
also
Quinn,
heard
but,
they went bankrupt, so I'm kinda wondering.
as far as I know, they're still moving forward, but I don't know what stage they're at. Do you know any? Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, last I talked to Pat, they were still planning on doing what they're doing
Won't
there.
bring it up then. Thank God it's RP3 for the whole 80 acres.
Next time though, let us know. I did talk to, I think, a neighbor.
I'll send you the bill.
Don't send it to me.
Well, you can give it to the
City.
builder. You don't want me talking to the builder, do you?
Sure.
If they destroyed your property, I would talk
Yeah.
to the builder.
Well, I already said something to him, but,
You did?
oh yeah, but it
Okay.
was already fixed at that point.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter though. You still are sending them the bill because they damaged your property.
For sure.
Well, I'll get it from.
If I know Aki, it won't be cheap.
No, I'm being serious though. I mean, that,
Yeah,
I.
there was
would-
water down. I even have a picture of it. There's water running
Good,
down.
because
the
then you have
road.
good documentation to show them.
Oh, yeah, I have it,
Okay, perfect.
so I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
Kinda controversial.
Well, yeah, next time, let us know and we'll contact them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know who to call for the builder, right? I talked to a guy standing in the field, so I mean,
Okay.
I'd have to call you and get the number.
You
of the
would.
builder, right? So-
I thought you had a guy.
That's right, I know a guy.
I have an announcement.
Yes.
I would love to remind everybody that we have the Spring Hill Fall Festival the last weekend of September. So hopefully I see you all there. We have a lot of stuff planned.
Will that be after the golf tournament?
It will be after the golf tournament. Golf tournament's Friday night, and then all day Saturday and Sunday. Lots of fun, lots of Spring Hill togetherness. So I expect to see everybody there. May or may
Let
not
me know.
partake. What?
And what year might this be?
This is the 70th anniversary,
Oh.
so
Wow.
it's a big year. And we got a lot of stuff.
70th consecutive?
No, sir.
We missed one.
COVID year.
COVID
Yeah.
year.
Yep.
Oh.
We did everything planned up. We were the last ones to cancel, but we finally got to the place that we had to.
Just asking.
But
It's okay.
we still count it as a year.
That's right.
Yep,
So
dates back a long.
Yes, it does.
I thought it was started before you were born though.
It did.
No, Cindy started it.
Well,
it actually
You're
dates
too
back
close,
even longer than 70
too
years.
close.
70 years is when they started the clock over because it used to actually be a fair.
yeah,
If you guys would like to know the history, go to www.springhillfallfestival.com.
it used to be the Johnson County Fair. The Johnson County Fair used to be held. This was one of the places Johnson County Fair used to be held.
Does anybody else have an announcement?
Any other announcements?
I've got two comments, not really announcements.
That's okay.
One is I'm very curious after tonight to dig into our ordinances regarding billboards. And I'm even a little motivated to see maybe we need to make a change to maybe, if it's true that a private landowner in an M1 zoning is somehow entitled to a billboard as long as it's 1,000 feet from the other ones, then your comment that last time, 5 or more years ago, when the last one was approved, that it would be the last one, maybe that's not true. So,
I don't think it's true. I think there's one more that's allowed.
According to my
According to-
understanding was,
according-
according to the ordinance, there's space for one more sign.
Yeah.
And that would be the last sign that they're bringing up.
Right.
So
One
it-
more.
So the guy's
We had
point,
just said that we were not going to approve anymore. That was our consensus. That we did not wanna approve anymore because we did not want it just jumped up.
right.
right, but it is part of the code, and the guy's right, they do have rights, and so it's the landowner, it's his rights. And so I don't know, it'd be kinda hard to deny, in my opinion, from a legal perspective.
Well, that's what I'm saying, we need to.
know what we're approving.
Oh, no, I
no,
didn't say
we're-
that.
we're just-
I didn't say that.
I mean, on their points.
There,
Okay.
I understand. So,
My other comment is unrelated,
yes.
but I'm gonna, I think, maybe ask staff or the city council to look into. It was discussed when the truck stop was approved, that the city would put no truck signs east of the industrial property entrances on that small section of 183rd that is city, so west of the railroad tracks. all the way to 69, but it would, the no truck sign would have to be east of the entrance there, and then just west of the tracks. And the reason, so like this week, there was an incident with one of the cement trucks on Ridgeview, had 2 cars piled into the front of it. And I talked to my neighbors on 183rd, and I said, you know, if you had to guesstimate how many cement trucks pass your house every day, and one answer I got, well, the consensus was around 20 or more. You know, and I think we'd have to really do a traffic study to know for sure, but that's just, you know, those are 60,000+ pound trucks. And so I personally would like to see them, because they're all they're doing, and I know it was discussed before, well, maybe they're going to serve residential construction, and you know, occasionally, yes, absolutely. You know, and I just built a house. There were a lot of trucks there, but for the most part, they're just coming east on 183rd, going north on Ridgeview, just a shortcut. You know, having to go out on the highway and then east on 175th, which are both more appropriate roads. So that's something that I'm gonna probably, you know, look into and see if the city would be willing to go ahead and put up the no truck signs today, just to get everyone used to not traveling east.
They're gonna do it anyway.
There's
No
So-
truck signs on 200.
So is that an ordinance that there would be no trucks on there, or is that just a sign that the city puts up,
It
or?
would probably have to go through our traffic. Do you know more about that? Yeah. Okay, you have it.
So I don't know the background for this specifically, but if there was a no truck sign put up, there would have to be an ordinance behind it. So that was something, that would be something that city council would have to approve. So, and typically there's some sort of traffic study or a traffic engineer review of this in order to get recommendations, because we have certain standards that we have to follow. But if, you know, that's something that staff could definitely
Is
take
that
a look at.
something that the traffic safety committee would look at first?
Yeah, so the city does have a traffic safety committee that could definitely look at that.
Is that, who's on that committee? Staff members or?
We have staff members, we have our on-call city engineer and our on-call traffic engineers.
Help me remember, I don't think it was, but was 183rd in the CIP?
I don't think so.
We notated that one as a no truck.
I'm sorry, say it again, Mary?
So we notated that one as a no truck route.
No, but was 183rd, the corner of 183rd and Ridgeview? Was that, because we've talked
That's
about.
county today.
One corner's ours.
No, not 183rd.
No. None of it,
I thought 100,
no.
Thinking of 191st maybe?
oh,
Or-
I am.
or Woodland.
I am,
Yeah,
I am, I'm 191st, you're right, thanks. Yep. Yep, I was 191st. I was off a section there.
That's all I had.
Okay,
Thanks.
anything else? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
7-7 first quarter.
That's
right. 7-7.